And all right, so here we go. East Columbus getting ready, and they will kick off as number 54. Michael Graham gets everybody set, and he goes, and the ball is up. It's a high kick straight down the middle, and that one will be down to the 15-yard line, and still on his feet. Number 80, Strawman is going as he's going to the far left, all the way to the 35, to the 40, and he has made it all the way to the 41-yard line. So we will see a new set of offense and defense come out. Trask takes it over on the 42. And this will be their fourth or so series of the drive. Oh, that's fine. All right, here we go. First down and 10. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left here in the first quarter. Trask is trailing 8-0, but they have the ball back, and there was a penalty on the kickoff, and that's going to did not see the call, but that is going to take the ball back all the way back to the 25-yard line, and that usually means a block in the back. That means some type of holding that moves those positions backwards. Did not see the call though. We've got first down. We've got first and 10 here on the 25-yard line. Trask has got the ball for their next series. Kraft is looking over the defense. He's got two-back set, receiver far right, going to be handed off, and he keeps it in. That one's not going to go well. Number 54, Michael Graham, and help on that will take Kraft down for a big loss, and that one's good for a 4-yard sack, and that'll bring up second down and 14 with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left here in the first quarter. East Columbus has an 8-0 lead, and we're going to have a timeout by Trask to talk this one out before they get it over. So here we go. Each team's getting ready to send their players back to the fields. And it has been intense, and it has been action-packed. And I've said that 3 or 4 times, but we haven't seen a game this fast this season. It's been a little while. So I'm taking a minute to catch some breath here and wait to see what we have. So it's been interesting, and I am getting now joined by Mr. Kelly Jones, and it's good to have you back.
It's good to be here rather than what I've been doing for the last 30 minutes. So for those of you that are hopefully watching at home, we apologize. Had a little internet glitch with our provider, but they answered the phone and got us going. So, Rod, good job. Good game so far. East Columbus moving the ball well.
Yeah, this has been both sides have had a lot of success offensively, and just right there we see an 8-yard run up the middle, and it's going to bring up second down and third down. I forgot the sack. So that's going to bring up third down and about 5, 6. Yeah, we'll call that one 6. So Kraft is back up under center. He's still got a 2-back set, and he's still got the receiver to the far left. He looks over the defense. This is a big third down because they're down on the wrong end of the field to want to do a whole lot of extra. And that's going to be a handoff up the middle, and it's going to go to the 33.
Good job by the right side of the East Columbus defensive line. And it's punt time for Trask.
Yeah, so 4th and 3 there. Last time from this area, they did punt. They had gone for the first few fourth downs, but it's just a bad area to be. That's a bad area to be in to take a chance of a 4th down and not end up making it.
You definitely have to punt here, especially the way that East Columbus has been moving the ball.
So we're waiting on a snap. The punter is ready. That's number 12, the good snap. And the ball is down, or 82.
And McClure back to return the punt, and he's going to take it at the 30-yard line.
And there he goes, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 40. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 44. So the punter on that one was actually number 82, Matthew Sherman. It may have been him. It probably was him the first time. It's just hard to see sometimes when they turn. 8s and them look like different numbers. And
we got the glare working against us tonight, too. I think they may have adjusted the lights because it looks like they're right in our eyes.
Yeah, I'll take any excuse that we can have here. 50 seconds, 50.6 seconds to be exact, and East Columbus has the ball with an 8-0 lead, and they have it on their own 40-yard line. Only the third time tonight they've had the ball, and honestly, they've not had it very long when they have. They've had big plays or misfortunate plays, either one, and they've just not kept it for a long time. So Cecil takes the snap. That's going to be passed to Gresham. Gresham catches it, almost goes down, and he's still fighting for yards.
Yeah, Gresham slipped after he caught the ball, put his hand down, picked himself up, and gained another 4 yards. Really athletic move by the tall guy out there.
Mm-hmm. So he gets it all the way up. He's going to get it all the way up to the 46-yard line. And that will be on the Trask. It's the 46-yard line of Trask, and the time is running. So there's just about 28 seconds left here. That's a brand new set of downs. That's a first down. Chandler's in the gun, takes the snap. He's looking to throw. That one was a busted route and almost picked off by number 26, Jordan Osgood. He expected somebody to go left. They went right, and that one almost ended kind of rough. But through the hands it went. And it's 19.3 seconds left, and it'll be 2nd and 10 as East has the ball on the 46-yard line of Trask with an 8-0 lead here in the first quarter, quickly coming to an end. So Chandler still in the gun. East, about the only time you will see East is in the back in the gun, and that one's going to be handed off to McClure. McClure is loose, kind of, and they've got him stopped.
He will not go down.
No. I thought for sure that one guy was not going to keep him held up, but he sure did. So there is the 2-yard gain and 3-yard gain. That was some exceptional defense there by Trask, because one man held McClure up until the rest of them could go finish him off.
Into the first quarter, Rod. 8-0 Gators.
And we've seen a lot. I mean, we have seen some big runs. We've seen interceptions. We've seen some fumbles, and it's been fast. One game we had last year was really quick like this. It might have been St. Paul's. I can't remember which one, but we had one where they were just constantly. I mean, it was just boom, boom. There wasn't much of a huddle, much of just that 25-second clock. You didn't need it because they wouldn't take about 10 seconds to snap a play.
Yeah, it seems like Trask likes a little slower paced offense and keeping the ball on the ground quite a bit, and I think East Columbus is content to make the big plays.
And just to show you things, stats don't mean, we saw for the first 3 weeks Trask had not done a lot of throwing. I believe they've thrown more tonight than they have in the first 3 weeks. So maybe maybe the run game was not doing what they had hoped it would do, and now they've trying a little more. And number 18, Dylan Kraft, he is an accurate passer. So when he gets time, he can put that ball right in there. So East has got to make sure he doesn't get a lot of extra time in those passes. But we're getting ready to start the second quarter. This is 89.9 FM WZCO Chadburn. And some of you may be on the internet with us at www.wzco.org. We're glad to have you. Week 4 of football. Tonight we got East Columbus versus Trask here in the Swamp. East Columbus has the ball to start the second quarter, and they are on the Trask 44. And number 7, Greg Melvins, touched it for the first time tonight. And, wow, up he went, and I believe the ball – I know he went up. Trask jumped to it like the ball may have come loose. And we'll wait to see. I haven't seen any signals, but he got hit, and he flew up in the air. If he did not, that was good for 8 yards. But that's going to bring up a 4th down. So Gators have a 4th down with 11 minutes and 30 seconds left here. And it's real close. It's like a 4th and 2. They're on the other side of the field, and they're going to keep it. So Chandler's going to stay in the gun. McClure right there to his side. Melvin comes back. Oh, it's a high snap, and the whistles go dead. We've got some movement before it even gets going, so this might change up legal procedure on East. What was a 4th and 2 now goes to a 4th and 7, and this may change some strategy here as the ball moves from the 30. Ball goes from the 36-yard line to the 37 to the 42. So we may see it's about a 4th and 8.
Hey, Rod.
Yes.
I appreciate you holding down the fort.
No problem.
I'm leaving you hanging here, trying to get everything, all our technical issues ironed out. Hey, if you're listening on the internet, our video stream is back up, so you can switch on over and watch the video.
Yeah, because if you don't handle those technical issues, we're in trouble. Back to pass. Chandler's going to go deep, and he's going to go all the way down. There is
and
Gresham.
That's going to be
Gresham.
A flag.
Yeah, I don't think he can get his
I'll
arms
tell you what
out.
happened. Gresham held up for the ball, and the defender for Trask really never got a good read on the ball, and so he just kind of ran into Gresham. So that's going to be defensive pass interference, and it's going to give the Gators a 1st down. Certainly inside the 20. We'll see where they mark it off.
Now, is high school spot a foul, or is it an automatic 15 yards?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I can't ever remember.
And I can't get to Google right now. No, it's not a spot foul. It's they mark it off, and I think looks like they're marking off 15. So that's going to put them at the 25-yard line. Hey, interesting call going deep on 4th and 5.
And Gresham had a step, but the ball just a little lightly thrown.
A little underthrown, and it's not because he doesn't have the arm. It just got a little too much air on it. Of course, now if you've got Gresham running down the field, a little air is a good thing.
Yeah, there it is. That's going to be Melvin in action, and he's still on his feet to the 23-yard line.
In that loss last week to North Brunswick, Greg Melvin had 2 interceptions in the end zone, so now making a difference here on offense.
So that's 7 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 3 as they have the ball on the 23-yard line of Trask. Big difference tonight in moving the ball. Now, it hurts when you don't have – if you're in the option offense and your center is not playing, it makes a difference because you're not in that same routine you're used to. So.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a handoff, and McClure lost it, but I think McClure falls on it, and if he does, he only loses 1. So it's having a hard time tonight with that. I don't know if the humidity but the running backs are having a little bit of a difficult time holding on to that ball. That's the 2nd time McClure's put it on the ground, and Melvin put it on the ground the first time he had it. So,
yeah, we've seen some, and I think part of that is too. There is some decent hitting going on out there, but yeah, it is rare for McClure to lose the ball, lose the handle. I mean, he's usually very sure with the ball.
So we got a 3rd and 4, 9 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. We'll see what we see anything different here. And there's he's back to throw over the middle.
Greg Melvin,
and he's still on his feet, and he is.
Greg Melvin is in the end
zone.
Beautiful pass, right in traffic, crossing pattern. Greg Melvin.
24-yard touchdown pass.
Catches it on the 5-yard line.
From Cecil to Melvin. Melvin fights for the last 5 yards, and it is now 14-0 East Columbus over Trask, and we should, knowing East Columbus, what they like to do, should see an attempt for a 2-point conversion. And I see McClure set up next to Cecil, so I'm pretty sure that's what we will see. Cecil looks it over. Takes the snap. The ball's loose. And he's not going to be able to pick it up. So that one goes dead, and that one's still, even being no good, it is 14-0. East Columbus leads Trask. There's 9 minutes and 33 seconds here in this 2nd quarter remaining. And we will see number 54, Michael Graham, kick off to Trask. So that was some big plays on that series. Couple big runs. We saw the penalty to Gresham. Gresham tries to get his arms free, just couldn't get them free, and That gave them 15, and it is finished off with a 24-yard touchdown pass from Chandler Cecil to number 7, Greg Melvin. So the sides are coming out. Special teams is making it to the field, and we will see we've seen some good kickoff returns. So see how this one ends up. We've got now that's just not fair to put 12 and 82 back there and move them back and forth. It's maybe not my eyesight, but that is number 12, Joseph Rodriguez. And that's number 23, Jarquell James. So,
hey, 9:33 left to go in the second. 14-0 Gators.
East is having a little better time moving the ball this week than last week, so coaches have to be and the players have to be happy about that. So here we go. Graham gets ready. The kick is up down the middle, and that's going to be by James, and he's going to trap it at the 17, and he's on his feet as he makes it up to the middle and gets brought down at the – no, he's still up.
Tough running there by number 23, Jarquell James.
Looks like he was going to be tackled, but he come out of the pile and took it all the way to the 34-yard line, so that's a 17-yard run back.
Good tough run back there by Jarquell James of Trask. So Trask now is in business with a 14-0 deficit here, trying to make something happen.
So they switch out offenses, defenses, waiting on the play to come in from the sideline. And once that does, Trask don't wait a whole lot longer to get that ball snapped.
Hey, but they're huddling. I talked about last week how I missed the huddle.
They must have been listening.
Coming out in a pro set offense. Wing right.
So here we go. Kraft takes the snap, and he loses it. And East just got it on the 30-yard line. Number 17, 57, my fault. Marquise King falls on it, and East Columbus takes right back over on the 30-yard line of Trask. One play, one switch. Teams come out, and it's 9 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the second quarter. East Columbus has a 14-0 lead over the Trask Titans.
Yeah, Rod, got to be honest here. If East Columbus punches this in, you hate it. There's a huge psychological difference between 2 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns. So if Trask is interested in staying in this game, this is a big series for them. Got the turnover momentum is all East Columbus' side now. They've got to come up with some big plays on defense.
So Cecil Chandler has the play, and he's looking over his offense. McClure, we haven't seen McClure this deep in any of their plays yet, so let's see what this one is, and that's going to be McClure up the middle.
Yeah, McClure off tackle, and he's going to be taken down by the right side of Trask. And that's going to be probably a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, that's going to take it back to the 31-yard line and bring up 2nd and 11, so that was good defense there by Trask. They did not let any holes open on that left-hand side. And, we've said it before, if you can keep McClure in the backfield, it's not as hard to bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's easy, but if you let him get through that first line, you better get some help.
I think the idea with putting him 6 or 7 yards deep in the backfield is letting him get a full head of steam as he hits off tackle. And I wouldn't want to be on that end when he's coming that way.
No, that went quite well for Trask. So that's going to be a quick pass out to Jalen Dumas, and Dumas gets free.
The tackle.
There he goes. All the way to the 20. He's loose 10.
He's going to be in.
5 and touchdown.
Touchdown, Jalen
Oh, wait a
Dumas.
minute. We ain't got signaled yet. Yeah, there it is.
Fantastic play.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not good.
Oh, procedure. Oh, okay.
That 31-yard touchdown just came back.
But that was a great effort by Dumas.
So that one's gonna come back, and we're gonna be looking at, instead of 2nd and 11, we're gonna be looking at 2nd and 16 from the 36-yard line. But that was a great play. Jalen Dumas almost lost it, got turned around, and took straight off and went across right piling, but not before that one can be brought back. So those illegal procedures and false starts can get you. So here we go, 2nd down and 16. East Columbus is getting the play brought in from the sideline. Cecil making sure that he has everything ready. We got Ryan Howard, Jalen Dumas, and number 11, Taron Baldwin, all on the right-hand side. McClure to the right of Cecil, and Melvin on the far left. Cecil looks it over, takes the snap, drops back. He's looking down Melvin. The pass is going to be to Melvin. There goes Melvin, and it's going to be over Melvin's head. Even Greg Melvin is speedy. That Chandler just got a little bit too much under it and got it out past Greg Melvin. Melvin tried the best to run it down, but he just couldn't get under it. 8 minutes and 8 seconds left here in the second quarter. It is 14-0 East Columbus over Trask. East has the ball on the Trask 36-yard line, and we will wait to see what the next play will be as Cecil comes back in with the play and brings McClure out to his right. Still got the 3 receiver set and the far receiver on the left. So Cecil looks it over. There's the snap. Going to roll out to his right.
He's got some running room out here.
And he may take it. Nope.
Oh, boy.
That's a little far, I believe.
Yeah, he was almost crossing the line, and I feel sure that's going to be an illegal forward pass, and it is an illegal forward pass. So, boy, it's hard to know where the line of scrimmage is, especially if you're running on the opposite side from the chains, and that's going to be a loss of down. So
that'll bring up 4th down.
Yep. And
and he was close. If you look, the line of scrimmage was right about the 30,
yeah,
and that's about where the ball went loose at.
I think the rule is that you have to have part of your body behind the line of scrimmage, but yeah, it's going to be a loss of down, and it's only a 5-yard penalty, but it's a loss of down that kills you now with 4th down, and we're going to call it 20.
Yeah.
Would that be a decent estimation?
Yeah, that's
you're
pretty.
A math person. So
That's
I don't
pretty
want to take
accurate, right?
It's a long way.
Yeah,
Country
that's
mile.
accurate enough. Yeah, this is the only good thing you can say is at least you're on the other end of the other end of the field. So in a worst case scenario.
Well, with 7:46 left to go here in the first half, this is an interesting situation because my temptation would be to punt in this situation and play defense. But we've got trips left, split right, and here's Cecil back to throw, and he's getting some major pressure, and he fumbles the football, and that goes to No, they're going to call it incomplete pass. So East Columbus turns it over on downs, and Trask is in business now in decent field position.
Well, on that, let's say you punt from there and you put it in the end zone. Let's say you get all of it. You're only looking at from where they're at, you're only looking at about a 19, 20-yard difference.
Yeah, well, and the way East Columbus has been playing on defense, it really doesn't matter. But good job with Trask.
Yeah.
They tightened up there and had their backs to the wall and the goalpost and hung in there. So now on offense.
It's tough to see points. That's tough when your points come off the board.
Yeah.
So brand new set of downs. Trask on offense, 7 minutes and 28 seconds here in the second quarter. 14-0. East Columbus is ahead. Trask has the ball, and this one
on the ground, and looks like quarterback got it back. And looks like we saw some center exchange problems last week. Looks like Trask is having their own fair share of exchange problems as well.
The first play of their last drive, Gresham got it. This time, Kraft beats Gresham to it. But Gresham was right there with him he was going for his second fumble recovery of the night. So it'll be 2nd down, and we're going to lose about 2. So 2nd and 12. Just under 7 minutes remaining here. East defense is looking good tonight. So Kraft scans it over, and he's going to look and drops back. And, wow, he is hit. See if that one's alive. And I'm not sure. I thought for sure if it was alive, East would fall on it, but somehow it got past him. And that one is a live ball, and that'll be a sack, fumble, and a big
It's an incomplete pass. They're going to call an incomplete pass on that too. So
that was a little bit late call there.
Well, officials got together and talked it over, and sometimes you see things differently, and I think they kind of came to an agreement.
But you know what? I would rather see them let that play end out as to blow it dead.
Yep, exactly.
Because you can fix that one.
Yep.
So
good job by the officials. Hey, Whiteville 3, Clinton 0 into 1.
That's a tight game there. 3rd and 12, 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Trask has the ball on their own 38. Kraft under center. East is coming with a rush. Handoff to number 5, and nowhere to go on that one. Just barely to the line of scrimmage if he made it there. So number 5, Markle Banks. And that will be, the tackle will be made by number 56, Carlos Campbell. And that's just right back to, that's going to bring up 4th down and 12. And there is number 82, Matthew Sherman, out to punt. And East Columbus is dropping Greg Melvin back deep. And they're going to put him back about the 27, 28-yard line. If Melvin can get that and whistles are down, the ball is up, well, I'm not everybody just stopped. I just assumed there was a whistle, but apparently there wasn't. And the ball will roll out of bounds at the 24-yard line. I have seen some interesting things take place tonight. The punter had it. Everybody just stopped. Everybody stood up, didn't block, didn't hit, and the punter punted, and the ball rolled out at the 20-yard line. So, well, I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I didn't see it. So, sorry, I was putting out fires. Most of them are out now, though. That's a good news. I'm back.
Well, that was interesting. So East takes it on the 23-yard line. 5 minutes and 56 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. They have a 14-0 lead.
We've got trips right, split left, 4 wide receivers, and now a 5th one goes in motion with Mac. Mac Jenkins is going to get it. It's almost like a screen, and he is taken down about the 38-yard line. That was a nice play. So what happened on that play is you had trips right. Mac Jenkins was a single set back. He goes in motion. And then basically, as soon as he gets the ball, the wide receivers can start blocking. So I like that play. You see that a lot in pro set offenses, or pro-type offenses, I should say.
I think you're having last year flashbacks.
Am I?
Yeah, Mac Jenkins is graduated.
I'm so sorry. Nick McClure.
Okay,
you don't say anything about Mac Jenkins. I don't say anything about North Brunswick. Okay?
Don't leave me here. Oh,
what a night.
So
I'm here now, though.
But you know what? In our defense, we were watching highlights from
that's right. We were
playoffs
watching
this week.
Yep.
So it's okay.
We were really reliving East Columbus's playoff run last season. So
yeah, and we saw Mac Jenkins.
Yep. So I have
that's right.
some reference.
You do.
And
that's a legitimate.
Back to the game, delay of game by the Gators, and I think when we were at West Columbus, we saw 10 or 12 of those, so this is an improvement.
We did. And where is do they have the clock here?
They don't have a clock here, and I think that's part of the reason at West Columbus the officials actually have a reference point to know when 25 seconds are up. Here's Melvin in motion. That's a handoff to Nick McClure. He's up the middle.
And there he goes.
He's at the 45.
He's loose. He's loose.
There's Nick.
There he goes. They're going to catch him.
10,
they're going to catch him. They did.
Up at the 15-yard
line.
Oh,
my goodness.
Nick McClure in the open field.
He has had some huge runs tonight, and that is a huge run in itself there. That one is good for – they're going to spot him at the 11. 39. That's over 50. My brain just quit, but that one's over 50. And, man, when he has gotten loose, he has been explosive. And Brunswick was able – here we go again. Trask was able to run him down at the 11-yard line.
Okay, refocus.
Yeah.
Melvin in motion. He's going to take on the jet sweep.
There he goes.
He's looking for an opening, and Trask is going to stop. Well,
there he goes. Ooh,
he got through there somehow, but he's going to be brought down near the 5.
That's a good 6-yard. That was a hard 6 yards earned.
Yeah, and East Columbus can get a first down without scoring.
That one will be tough.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. It took a long time to develop, and Greg Melvin kind of picked and saw a little seam and squirted through there. So
I thought he was going to make it all the way through, but that was a very good defensive ending of that play by Trask. And so we're looking at 2nd and 5. Ball is on the 5.
And first down marker just inside the goal line, and we've got a timeout by Trask.
This is a big play, and this is a
well. And Rod, with 3:45 left to go here in the first half, and a 14-0 lead by the Gators. If the Gators score here, it makes your job really tough at halftime.
You're right.
Again, it is a big psychological difference between 2 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns.
So we're in a timeout. Trask called. Trask trying to make sure that they can get the defensive plays they want here, because they, as you said, they do not want to go down 3 scores in the second quarter. East Columbus is playing good on both sides of the ball, and that's a hard road to come back. So here comes East Columbus back to the field. 2nd down and 5. Ball is on the Trask 5. Here comes Chandler Cecil in with the play, and this time in the backfield is going to be Rodney McGill with him. So we're going to give Nick McClure a break after that big run. Needs a chance to take a break and grab some oxygen. But we still got Greg Melvin going to be set up in the receiver. We've got Brian Howard, and we've also got Taureen Baldwin. And then on the far side is going to be Deshaun Webb. So 2nd and 5. Looking over the defense is Chandler. Everybody is set. He has got 22 behind him. He's going to send him, looks like, in motion. And it's going to be
going to keep it.
His own number. And he's still on his feet. There he goes. And he
Cecil is in for the score.
Touchdown, East Columbus on a 6-yard run. Quarterback sneak by number 8, Chandler Cecil. And it is now 20-0 East Columbus over Trask with 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And East will go for 2. So switching a little bit of personnel.
Yeah, that looked like almost like a broken play there, Rod. Cecil wanted his back to go in motion, and he never did, and then kind of kept the ball. I think it was supposed to be an option on that play, and Cecil just kept it.
But he got some good blocks out of number 22, Rodney McGill, and he went in for the score. So they're trying to go up and add 2 more on to it. Cecil in the gun, takes the snap, hands off to Melvin, and
too much penetration there.
Melvin tripped over somebody's. The line was coming back, and he tripped over somebody and could not get turned around. So no good on the conversion, but it is now 20-0 here in the Swamp. 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. East Columbus is leading, and they will kick off to Trask.
It's a different offense with Cecil back there, and it's different, I think, in a different way, but I think it's been a positive thing tonight because we've seen, first of all, Elijah Gresham is a huge target, out there and in the defensive secondary. So I'm really liking this move so far.
So I'm curious, and I'm going to, since you're a coach or have coached, former coach,
recovering coach,
why the switch in week on the 3rd game of the season? Is it a 11th grade, 12th grade thing, or is it? Because Gresham week 1, good. Last week wasn't bad, but the center having to play with a backup center made a difference.
I think as a coach, you're always evaluating where you can best utilize your players. And as we have the kickoff here, and I think one of the things we'll talk about it after this play.
So Graham kicks that one all the way back to the 13th, and there's number 23, James, and he's going to make it all the way to the, let's see where they end up spotting it. He's going to go all the way to the 35-yard line. So
I think one of the things that I would consider if I was a coach in that situation is, honestly, you got Gresham playing both ways and playing quarterback at the same time. It is very challenging physically and mentally, and so Gresham's going to be a huge contributor wherever he is.
Right.
And so what you think of is, where can you utilize the players the most? Where are their talents, best utilized? And that's all the players on the team. So I'm sure that's what Coach is thinking. Quick pass here knocked down by
Elijah Gresham, I think.
Hey, you must have heard us talking. Elijah Gresham on defense there on the end jumped up about 12 feet and knocked down that pass. So.
And that's not the easiest man to throw over.
But I can tell you that the move was not any performance
No.
type issue. I think the move is based on, trying to let your talent be used in the best possible manner.
You know, and with Gresham not getting to play quarterback last year, you got that 1 year versus 2 year, and I wonder if that's not weighed in on the decision in there. So
quick handoff here by Trask over the right tackle. A nice gain there.
That'll be good for 7.
Yeah, the front line of Trask is actually getting good movement off the defensive line of East Columbus. So
that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. 3 minutes and 7 seconds here in the second quarter. Trask has the ball, but they are trailing 20-0 here at the Swamp. Kraft has the ball moving forward, looks it over, takes the snap, another quick handoff.
Yeah, that's going to be enough for a first down. Trask's coming out in really a 2 tight end set and just kind of hammering the ball right at East Columbus. So first down, Gators, 2:49 left. Trask has got plenty of time, so they really need to come up with a defensive stop here.
Graham's going to come over and take a break. Trask has a new set of downs, and Kraft up under center. And yeah, these last few plays have been a lot quicker handoffs, and they're moving the ball roughly 5 yards each.
And they have 8 men on the line of scrimmage, right in tight. 2 tight ends and a wing, and they're coming right at East Columbus. This time veer option, quarterback keeps it and gets a short gain there, probably 2 yards.
Yeah, that hole wasn't there, and I agree with you. That's good for 2.
Yeah. It's nice when the math guy agrees with the number you put out there. So
you know what? If we could, you know what I'm wondering? Why can't we make this 0 to 100? I mean, I'm good till that ball crosses that 50-yard line. I have to start doing the math backwards. Not this time of night. So 2nd down and 8. Kraft up under center, and another quick handoff, I think.
That's really what's happening now is that East Columbus starting to fire their linebackers in C gap or right off tackle. So this would be a time if you're really looking and thinking about as far as strategy goes. East Columbus is really looking at those C gaps. Would be a nice time to try something, kind of fake the play action and try to pop, one of these tight ends over the middle.
Yeah, that's what I've wondered. You've had 3 or 4 of these quick runs. If you can get him out, if you can run him right or left and get him out.
Yeah, and you notice that the linebacker started out at 5 yards, 4 yards. Now they're a little closer. So you got to get something to loosen them up a little bit, or you're not going to have any success there in the middle. So
we're looking at 3rd and 10, minute and 41 seconds left here in the second quarter. Trask ball on their own 45, trying to get on the board before halftime comes, because offensively, East has been able to put on 20, and they've not been able to make it to that end yet. They've come close. They've had some good offensive plays, but just not been able to finish out, either off on downs or maybe a turnover. So they're hoping to get some points on the board, but this is a crucial 3rd down, and Kraft is going to look over center. They're still in that same set. Tight formation, 2 backs, and the ball's out, and it is picked up by number 15. That's Romeo Rouse, and he's gone. It is all the way to the
almost.
15, and we got a flag down. So 15 Romeo Rouse, fumble recovery, 30 yards, tackled by number 18, Dylan Kraft, the quarterback, and let's see what that flag brings up here. Looked like he might go, but good recovery there by Trask to make sure it didn't happen. The flag's laying at the 24-yard line. Have not seen any signals. Well, I don't know. There might have been another one. There might be 2 flags on this one. So we will see here. That was an illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure against the Titans.
Okay, so that one.
Illegal block against the Gators.
All right, so there's an illegal procedure against the Titans, but that'll be declined. There's an illegal block by the Gators, so that ball was brought down on the
Yeah, I think that's
14.
going to be post. I'm assuming that's a post turnover.
Yeah,
foul,
I think
so.
that took place right at the 23-yard. The flag was laying on the – they threw the flag on the 24.
5-yard line of the Titans. 1st and 10, Gators.
So that one Probably moves it to like the 34, I'm assuming. And that is where they're going to spot it.
You're good with these numbers.
I'm getting better. So 1st and 10, 1 minute and 31 seconds. How aggressive do you get if you're East Columbus here?
Here's what I do, and this is why I'm not coaching. I take right here with Elijah Gresham, and I'd let Cecil throw one up and let him go for it because he's got single coverage out here because you got trips to the opposite side. It's going to be a quick pitch to Melvin, and Melvin's got all sorts of problems. And
Here he comes. He cut back. There he goes.
Got a blocker.
He's got
cuts
him.
Up the middle.
He's got it. There he goes.
He is going to be in. What a great run, Greg Melvin.
35-yard touchdown, Greg Melvin. And what looked like to be a 2-yard loss, Melvin comes out and just completely reverses it, gets back on the side with all of the blockers, and he's able to, and that whole, Melvin just weaved through that hole big time. And once he got out of there, we have seen Greg Melvin. You don't want to be hit by Nick McClure once he gets past the first line, and you do not want to see Greg Melvin in open field. That's got touchdown written all over it.
That was the longest 25-yard run I've ever seen. He ran 70 yards.
All of his plays today. He's too bad he don't get the east-west yards today because he's put them on 2-yard or 2-point conversion.
Cecil around the right end.
And they're not going to let him around this time. So no good on that one, and it is now 26-0. East Columbus over Trask here at the swamp of Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And Trask will have one more opportunity to see if they can score or put some points of some sort on the board before we go to halftime. And East Columbus will get the ball back to start the third quarter, so Trask really needs to make something happen here to avoid having to kick back off to East in 1 minute and 20 seconds. So East Columbus is getting set, and Trask is set. Number 12, Rodriguez, and number 23, James, is back, and they are both standing on the 15-yard line awaiting the kickoff. And Graham so far has put every one of them down the middle in about that area. So pretty consistent on that. So here he comes, full head of steam, and the ball was caught on the 23-yard line, and 23, James has it. He's going wide to the right, and he's through a hole. He's still on his feet, and he will be brought down at the 46-yard line. So a good 23-yard run back there, and Trask has had some, they're averaging probably 15 to 20 yards per kickoff return. So they've picked up some good yards on that tonight. 1 minute and 11 seconds left here in this first half. East Columbus has a 26-0 lead over Trask. Trask has the ball, and they've got 55 yards separating them in the end zone and 1 minute and 11 seconds to do it.
Needless to say, you got to make something happen here if you're Trask, even if it's just to move the ball. And Trask back in that two tight end set with the wing and lots of pressure, and they hand off right up A gap, and that's to number 5. That's Markel Banks.
That'll be good for 9.
Yep.
8. Yeah, he's going to get 8 with the spot.
And I think you run one more play like that, and you try to do something right behind the linebackers with like quick little jump pass.
Because I think they're out of timeouts.
Yeah, and they've got to hustle, and this is one area where having to huddle really hurts you, and teams that basically go without a huddle are always at an advantage. 40 seconds left to go here in the first half.
So up under center, still 2 backs, dual receiver to the far right. That's going to be handed to number 5.
Yeah, and East Columbus is all over that. I think you can't go to the well too many times on that one.
That one's just right to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something here with 20 seconds left, and I don't know if Trask is even thinking about running a play here. 15 seconds on the clock, and they're backing up further. And I think they're going to be content to let the clock run out. And let's go talk about it at halftime. 5 seconds, and yep, we're heading in to talk about it. So
we have officially put the first half of this game in the record books. East Columbus 26, Trask 0, here in the swamp of Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. it's a whole lot better trip to the locker room, I would say, this week than last week. But that's the thing is, East Columbus hasn't. They've used last week to motivate them this week, and they've not lived and thought about it. And that's what you've got to do from week to week. You got to take the good, you take the bad, you put them in their appropriate places, and you go play football.
You know, I guess I've been around football long enough that I can just kind of sense things. But I went into the locker room around 6 o'clock. You know, players were there, and you can kind of tell when the energy is serious, but the energy is also loose and excited. And that's when I was in the locker room, I really sensed that, you know, the players were ready to play tonight and motivated to put last week's loss behind them. So I think the first half would definitely indicate that that's the case.
So it's we are looking at. We'll get back to a little bit of football here, but right now the flag/dance team of East Columbus is out on the field, and they are performing for the crowd, giving them some halftime entertainment, but some definite big plays tonight. East Columbus has scored 4 touchdowns. Nick McClure has scored 1. Greg Melvin has scored. Greg Melvin gets 2. McClure 1, and can't remember who has the 4th one, but it's been they've had really good success moving the ball, and it's been kind of like Gators of last year, kind of watching them move tonight.
And again, the new formation here with Cecil at quarterback, Gresham out there on the split end position. I mean, it's a different offense, but it's also every bit as dynamic as it was before. So I like the new look.
And it's a big defense. Gresham recovers a fumble as the quarterback, as Dylan Kraft has a hard time holding on to it, and we've had some hits come up for fumbles, and so it's been interesting on both sides of the ball. And you know, there for a while, like East Columbus won the toss but deferred, so they defended, got the ball, and turned it over after 2 big plays. Then Trask had it back, and they got the ball and turned it over on that next play. Or the punt, that was the one that Jalen got caught up in traffic in the ball. And so, I mean, there was a while before East Columbus had actually touched the ball, and then right after that, things just started clicking offensively, and it's been pretty good for the Gators.
Good job by the East Columbus High School color guard there. Under the direction of Mr. Jamie Falk. Can't wait to see the whole band on the field. They've got around 65 in the band this year. So,
now let's welcome your East Columbus varsity
and getting ready to see the cheerleaders perform. So we've got about 10 minutes left here in halftime, 26-0, and definitely probably a more upbeat locker room than this time last week.
I would say so.
So now what you do is first thing you do is you keep your players focused, and then you hope that you can maintain this momentum second half. But what coaches that I've been around have always stressed, and I think this is a good idea, you want to have all your fundamentals down in the second half here, because the second half of games like this is where you kind of see which team's made out of. So we'll see what happens. I think Trask is got a big task ahead of them, down 26, and I'm sure their coaches are thinking, what can we do here in the second half just to give momentum? Not necessarily to win, but what can we do to make next week a little easier for us? So under 10 now, and we've had a good start here to Columbus County Schools. Finished up our 3rd week for all schools, and I believe you guys have been in session now 6 weeks.
Yeah, finished up week 6 yesterday,
and lots of exciting things. I was talking to Miss Alston, who is the radio teacher, and her students have done some September 11 tributes that we'll be playing for the rest of the month, and excited about what the kids are doing there. And our broadcasting students are gearing up for the big North Carolina School Board Association What's Great About Public Schools contest, and lots of good things always lots of energy when you go out to all of our schools, and CCCA is no exception. All right.
Hard to believe that it's gone this fast.
It's hard to believe that this is our fourth game.
It is.
It is hard to believe this is our fourth game. It is our fourth game.
It is our fourth game.
Okay, because you're the counting guy.
Yep. This is.
I'm not about to count.
We're on week 4, and we've gotten, except Whiteville, the 3 county schools have gotten their byes out of the way. East and South last week, West this week. So Whiteville's, I'm not sure when theirs is, but it'll be coming up here soon, and then it'll be straight football till November 8th, and the playoffs on the 15th.
And hopefully by then it'll be a little colder.
I hope so.
All right. Whiteville 13-6 over Clinton at halftime.
I've not gotten a chance recently to really watch or, Clinton. Are they still the powerhouse of what once was, or is it a little more equal this day and time for them?
I think they're like any team. They have kind of years where things click and years they don't, and it seems like they're having some struggles this year. But I can guarantee you this: whenever you play Clinton, you just never know. Even the years where you think that they may have teams that aren't as successful, Clinton always has the ability to beat you. Mm-hmm. And there have been some years when no one could touch them.
And I do. When I first moved in this area, I mean, that's how it. Clinton on your schedule, you better bring 110% for 48 minutes, and it's but things do change up a little bit. Yeah, and I was looking earlier at some of the for Trask. Trask has a fairly tough schedule. They got Wallace Rose Hill next week.
Yeah, that is a tall task for anybody.
And we've seen West Bladen. They're tough. Clinton's on their schedule. We've not got a chance to. We will see. We won't see them, but East Bladen will. It's a game coming up here. East Columbus is going to travel up there, but East Bladen usually a solid football team.
Yeah, I think Coach Bob Lewis there at Clinton. I mean, he's one of those coaches where he's always going to have his team ready to play, and I'm interested to see what happens with the Whiteville Clinton game, because I think that's going to be down to the wire, 13-6 now at halftime.
Well, I came this way. It was between 4:30 and 4:45, and they were already starting to roll in there. So they've probably got a packed house tonight.
Yeah, it's funny. I coached with one coach, and I won't say who it is, because this is like a magician revealing tricks. You're not supposed to do this. But I will never forget. It was we were going to play a team that was undefeated, just absolutely blowing everybody out, and the coach had us pull over with the team, and the game starts at 7:30. Had us pull over a mile from the school until 7:15. And so we roll up, come off the bus, onto the field, and, of course, we get a 15-yard penalty, of course, because, it's basically unsportsmanlike conduct. And we won that game 19-18. So I've never forgotten that. I think it goes to show you that there is so much in football that is, mind, mental. So that was definitely a ploy, and I think it did kind of shake them up.
Now, was it? We're going to go back to your high school playing days.
Oh, Lord.
Was it Natron you played against or played with?
Natron I played with. Natron Means. He was a junior when I was a senior, but we played together. Probably 4 years. Natron he was exceptional, and at the time he actually was playing both ways. So there was 1 year, and I think he was a sophomore. He was the offensive and the defensive player of the year at the same time for the conference. So he was absolutely just one of those players. But I also played against Jimmy Hitchcock, who had a career with the with Patriots. Played a little while with the Patriots, and in my conference, and we were a 3A conference, I think out of the folks that played when I was playing varsity, there were 4 pro, and that's kind of unusual.
Oh, wow.
But I think back to those days, and I guess there's lessons that football teaches you that it's hard to get anywhere else. It teaches you discipline. It also makes you really appreciate water. I had newfound appreciation for water. I think all the kids who have played football, especially in the summer, those really hot days, you can appreciate good water, bad water. You really like the ice, but then you really like the little pieces of ice. You almost become water connoisseurs because it literally is all you think about. So
since you and Natron were so close, think he'll come broadcast one week with us?
I don't think Natron would come and broadcast with us. I got to be honest. I think he's too busy coaching. And last I heard, I think he was coaching up in the Charlotte area. So, but a really, really good guy. I mean, the only reason he wouldn't is because of you, not because of me. So, it was a lot of fun playing with Natron. It was a lot of fun watching him be successful. And, of course, it was kind of heart-wrenching when you see him get injured and ended his career early. But I think when he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, we all kind of looked at each other and went, I just can't believe he just scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So it was a lot of fun playing with him. Of course, the only thing I ever did for him was probably get in his way. But me and my best friend to this day, we played side by side. And he got his fair share of runs in between us, but I don't know how much we were getting people out of his way. He just kind of had to make a move on us, too. But Natron was a great player.
Now, is he coaching high school in Charlotte?
The last I heard, I think he was offensive coordinator at one of the larger schools there. I think that's fun. I was Drew Bledsoe. You remember who?
I do remember.
Actually
Patriots.
played a while for the Panthers, I think. I think he may have spent some time with the Panthers, but anyway, he spent most of his time with the Patriots. And he is now a quarterback's coach at a high school in Washington.
Oh, wow.
Of course, he grew up in Washington. So, I think, that's really cool when those folks that have had the career and have been on that big stage, really go back and want to work with these high school kids. Because, and I'll tell you, the things that happens on these fields here in our county and counties all across this nation. I mean, think about it right now. There is probably 50 million people right now watching a football game, or will watch a football game tomorrow. And it really is, I think, one of those things that makes our country special is what happens on Friday night. And for these kids right here playing, they'll remember a lot of things about high school, but the relationships they made and the commitments they made to play the game are something that sticks with you.
Yeah, I think it was sometime last year, I was reading an article in ESPN magazine, and they built a high school stadium that was like I think it's somewhere like $5 million, but it seated some ridiculous amount, like 60,000 people. It was down in Texas. It was one of those huge schools. And they had sold out for the first 5 games of the season. I mean, it was unbelievable to think of high school football being, that big. I mean, and it is big, but, for us to see, with the size schools we have, if you saw a couple thousand people come out, I mean, that would be impressive.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, and here tonight we probably have close to 1,000 on both sides. So, there's something about football, especially in communities like ours, that tends to draw people together, and that's such a positive thing. It's such a positive thing for our community and a positive thing for these kids. So.
Well, I grew up in Cincinnati, and I know when I first came down here in the late '90s, and I wasn't in education at the time. It was a whole lot bigger. Friday Night Football was a whole lot bigger in Southeast North Carolina than it was it was big in Cincinnati, but it didn't draw. It didn't draw the community support. Like, I think that's what's impressive here. The big powerhouse teams drew the support, but what I've seen here, even teams that struggle, you'll still see people packing their stadiums, and it's more about the win-loss. It's just about like you said.
It's about the loyalty, and I think about West Bladen, who had that huge long losing streak and came out of it this year with 2 wins, and what that must have meant to their fans. But in a way, the most important thing is that those kids were out there trying, and that's we have such great community support in Columbus County and for our schools, and it's just a great place to play football. So I'm excited to see the second half, Rod, and it looks like we're getting a little closer. The clock's getting down to 0, and cheerleaders have done a good job, so I think we're ready to roll again.
So here comes the Gators out of the locker room. Trask has, I'm not sure if they went. They went in for a little bit, maybe.
I
but,
think they hung out there.
so they've put 3 minutes back up, and we will be underway. The Gators will start with a kickoff, and they have a 26-0 lead, and they hope to make that grow.
Yeah, this game is moving really quick, Rod. I mean, it's only 10 till 9. So
Yeah,
we got a good shot at getting home before midnight.
Don't tease me.
Yeah, for those of you that are listening, watching, WECT and WWAY, as soon as the game is over, Rod and I, and assisted by everybody who's here, we clip everything down to about a minute, pull out the best highlights and upload it to WECT and WWAY, and they've been using them on their 11 o'clock football show. So that's been quite an honor and a thrill for these kids to get to see their footage, and not just, kind of going on the internet, but also being used on the air.
Yeah, last week I walked in my house just enough time to flip on the television and catch WECT on running our clips, and then they were on to the next one, and so that was the first one I got to see. But they look good, and we are thankful to them for the opportunity to get to do this for them.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of kids. It takes a lot of help here. Tell us what students we have here tonight, Rod. Can you see them all?
We do. We've had, high school-wise, we've had with us tonight Emma Balch. We've had Jonathan Smith, Austin Simpson, Matt Griffin, and my mind just went blank. There's a fifth one. Let's see.
I think they're out of view. They might be up top.
But we had enough to be on all three cameras and the TriCaster. I do know that.
And the TriCaster,
That would
folks,
be-
is our switcher. That's how we switch between cameras and stream everything. It's kind of like the do-all.
So we've had 4, and then the college, we have Eric and Anthony with us every week, and they brought 2 students.
They have been a huge help, and thank you to Southeastern for Community College for helping us. And, of course, Miss Amanda Hilburn is running the video program there at CCCA from SEC, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate their involvement in our program. And you know what? I'm proud of it. I really am proud of the work the students do. I think it's one of the more special things that are going on. And I don't know any other place that's doing this, at least not to the scale we're doing it. So I'm definitely proud of the work the kids are doing and the overall program.
Yeah, they've done well, and tonight Jonathan's had one in high school and now the one college. Matt Griffin has done one of each. Emma's one of each, and Austin has just done the one college. And then with the college, Angela Batterson and Samantha Todd are here from the Southeastern program. Angela graduated with us last year from the early college, and Sam had attended some with us too. So
It's good to see the kids going to Southeastern and staying involved and helping our students and serving as mentors for them here. So
I taught them both math, and they still speak to me, so that's a plus.
Yeah, that is a plus.
Yeah.
They probably tell you, just don't ask me any equations, okay, please. And so, folks, we did have a problem with our stream for probably the first half of the first quarter, but we're back on now. Big thanks to U.S. Education TV. They picked up the phone at 7:45 and logged into our TriCaster and discovered that it was a problem on their end. And so they fixed it right away and got us back on the web, and hope you're able to watch us there at go to WZCO.org, and you can listen to the audio, but you can also scroll down just a little bit and watch the video live via the internet.
It's almost that time, Kelly.
I'm glad. I want to get this game underway, second half. And if it was as exciting as the first half, we'll be really exhausted.
Yeah, that was fast, and it's been a while. We had one of them last year, and this year is wasn't expecting that one to come off that fast, but it's been good. And number 82, Matthew Shimon is getting ready to kick that ball off, and we will await it as here he comes, and the kick is up, and it's a high fairly deep.
Yeah, and Greg Melvin takes it at the 6.
All the way, and he's going to
He's
look
looking
for a
for a
hole,
hole.
and he's got one, and he's
in
got
the creases
another
on
one.
the outside.
There he goes. There he goes.
Greg Melvin.
There he goes.
He's at the 30.
Comes
Cuts
back.
back inside, and he stepped out of bounds.
I was going to say something just went. Greg Melvin don't stop. No, he's a little frustrated at himself as he comes back over, but an impressive run back. Got that at the 6 and steps out of bounds. Looks like they're going to put it down at the 40. Yep, down at the 42. So 52-yard return on that kick, and East Columbus starts off in excellent field position from the Trask 42-yard line. 11 minutes and 46 seconds still left here in the third quarter. East has a 26-0 lead, and it is their ball as the first possession of the third quarter is getting ready to get underway. And the whistle's blown. The officials have started. Chandler back in the gun, waits the snap. There it is, drops back to pass, looks to his right, it's going over the middle to number 7, Greg Melvin, just out past his fingertips. That was close. Just needed a little. Melvin maybe 1 to 2 more steps max, and he's walking in for 6 more, so real close. 11 minutes and 41 seconds left. 2nd and 10. East has the ball on the 42-yard line of Trask. So Cecil Chandler gets ready to, let me try that again. Chandler Cecil gets ready. The snap in motion is number 3.
And all sorts of penetration there by the Trask defensive line, and that was a good play.
That was good penetration.
Yeah, and that play, which is really kind of like the jet sweep, we'll call it, right around there. Jalen Dumas just did not have time to get started.
No, and that'll be a loss of 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 13.
26-0, East Columbus in the lead. Opening moments of the second half. Excuse me.
Chandler is set, has his men where he wants them. Looks one last time. Here does a snap. He's going to drop back to pass over the middle.
Oh, a little
just
low
a
there
little short.
Yeah. Intended for Elijah Gresham, a little low.
And that's going to bring up 4th and 13.
Yeah, and I wonder if this might be where you want to punt it, but I think we're going to go for it here. No, I think we are going to punt it.
So we see 54, Michael Graham, out.
Yeah, number 23, Jarquell James drops back deep, and we've seen he's got some major speed.
He does.
So here's the punt. Let's see what happens. And he's going to get a chance to return this if he can field it. And he does. He takes the ball at the 20. And gets pushed out of bounds somewhere close to the 30. Good coverage there by the punt team for East Columbus. 26-0. East Columbus over Trask.
Ryan Howard was real close there to stripping that ball loose. He turned James around, but James was able to hold on and go out of bounds because that was close to popping loose. So we'll see Trask for their first possession of the third quarter, and they have the ball on the 30-yard line. So they're pretty well another 20-yard run back by James. That's about 15 to 20 is about what he's averaging tonight. So he's had some good run backs. So Kraft up under center. No backs they're real tight. There they are, and handoff up the middle, good for 3. But those are 3 hard-earned yards as it'll be 2nd down and 7.
And number 63 there, Santonio Godwin on the tackle, playing tough there in the middle.
So 2nd and 7, just under 10.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Trask has the ball on their own 34, trying to put points on the board.
And Trask now in a real 2 tight ends, 1 wing pro set look, so they've got all the beef up on the front line.
We got Kraft looks one last look as he sets. The ball is snapped, and he's going to go down, but I think he handed.
No, I think what happened was Elijah Gresham came in and hit him before he could get the ball off.
You're right. That's a 3-yard loss, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 12.
And Trask just cannot get the ball going. And I think at some point in time you do have to try something a little bit, maybe down the field, try to take a shot, because I can tell you there's 11 in the box for East Columbus, or at least 10.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 9. I was a little off on that one. But
Okay, don't let it happen again. Here we go.
I'm going to try.
2 tight ends, wing right, and they're literally the running backs for Trask are a yard off of the quarterbacks.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen that tight of a formation. The ball
And here's
snapped,
pass.
almost
And
intercepted.
Almost intercepted there, and pass was intended for, I believe it was number 81, Kevin Martindale for Trask. But that's going to bring up 4th and 9, and you got to punt it here, Rod. Got
Yeah,
to punt, regroup, and play defense.
and that was,
Last call for.
let's see, it looked like number 5, Tay Robinson. It went through his hands, and he was close.
You know, I really think that here, if you're the punter, you kick it anywhere but to Greg Melvin, and Greg Melvin may get a chance. No, he catches it in traffic,
and he's
shoots
still on his
right up
feet
through
to
the
the
middle.
50.
He's got a
loose.
chance.
He's loose.
Got one man to
45,
beat. Go to the
40,
outside. There's
35.
Melvin.
There he goes, 20. Here comes a bunch of them. Cuts
Good
him.
inside.
10. Cuts back.
He's looking. He's in, and we're going to have a block in the back.
Yeah, there is the one disadvantage to that cross field is
Yep.
it allows your blockers
To get out of position.
get them out and get to the wrong side of somebody. So that was impressive, though. But you know that scares me when I see that, when I see him come up and take that. Oh, I'm just waiting for bad things to happen when they go off to that punt on that. But Melvin grabs it and he goes about 55 yards.
Holy
He's in the. I mean, he goes all the way. He goes for 65-yard touchdown, but at about
Wow.
the 11, you got a block in the back.
I'm tired, and I was just watching it. What a great run. I mean, and the first thing is, you know, Greg Melvin takes the ball, should have never tried to field the ball. You know, everybody's yelling, get away from it, get away from it. Then he catches it, go, go, go. I mean, it really was just a great play.
It's when your special teams coach is ready to pull out his hair and just cry on the sideline.
Oh, man, what a run. What a run.
So made it all the way to the 10 before the block in the back, and now East will have 1st and 10 on the Trask 20 with 8 minutes and 42 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Their second possession.
Cecil on the option, keeps it, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Good penetration and good movement there by Trask to
And
seal that.
Running the option there with Nick McClure, and to the short side of the field, it does diminish your options quite a bit.
2nd and 10 here. Cecil is getting his last-minute calls from Coach as him and McClure gets to the middle. McClure is going to be split to his left. Gresham will be in the far left.
And we've got to the short side of the field, we have Trips right and split left. And, of course, McClure in the backfield.
And here comes.
Dumas in motion. It's going to be inside handoff. Counter back to Nick McClure.
And he's free.
Fooling everybody,
Touchdown.
including the cameraman.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue where the ball was at.
Nick McClure with the score.
20-yard touchdown. Nick McClure, 7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining here.
You know, that was really an interesting play because what happens is you got Dumas in motion. Looks like he's going to take the inside handoff, and he actually looks like he crossed in front of McClure, and then McClure was coming the opposite direction. They pulled the guard, and he just – I don't even know if anybody touched him.
I have to admit, I thought that was a busted play.
I did too. If it's busted, they need to try to keep busting.
Yeah, and I don't think he was touched, honestly.
Here we go. Cecil for 2. Looks like he's going to throw it and batted down. Good job there by number 14, Alex Hicks for Trask. So 32-0 here.
Big run up the middle by McClure, set up by a huge, huge punt return by Greg Melvin. So Melvin makes it in the end zone, has to come back 20 yards on a block in the back, and then with a play or two later, Nick McClure, I guess second play later, Nick McClure walks it in for a score. That's at least his second tonight. I know he has 2 touchdowns tonight. I don't think it's 3 yet.
Hey, I'm not the counting guy. You're
Yeah.
the counting guy.
Yeah, I brought a notebook to write it down, and I got it was so wrapped up in that first they were going, I threw it out.
We've had a few distractions tonight, but that's okay. We're getting it too. We're getting better. Getting better. Everything's running smooth now.
I like
That
I like
450-foot piece of wire we fixed. So I said last week we weren't going to mess with wires any. This week everything was going to be perfect, and next week it definitely is going to be perfect. All the wires are going to work.
Did we have a camera go out on us?
Well, we have the camera down there. We just lost one of the colors,
Oh.
and short kickoff's going to go out of bounds. Penalty there for East Columbus.
Goes out of bounds.
So there's a lot of places, a lot of points where it could basically lose a wire, and so what Mr. Hobbs was doing is he was fighting the snakes underneath the bleachers, replacing the cable. I think he said that what had happened was one of the alligators had actually chewed through the wire under there, and we're good now. We got all 3 cameras back and color balanced and white balanced, and they look very professional. So
I told you I want hazard pay if I have to go back under them bleachers.
if the lights were out, I would not be under there.
No,
You could not get me to go
That's a
under
scary
there.
place under there. So we got first and 10. Trask has the ball.
Still in this 2 tight end, 1 wing set with the backs right next to him, and number 23.
Oh, he's gonna pop free.
He gets it. Well, looks like it's going to be a 7 or 8 yard loss, and he turns it into a gain. So, good job there by number 23, Jarquell James of Trask.
Yes, I thought for sure he was going to be dropped for quite a few, but he is able to turn that into a 4-yarder, and it'll bring up 2nd and 6. 7 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. Trask has the ball, trailing East Columbus 32-0 here at Lake Waccamaw.
I wish if anybody has a South Columbus score, go ahead and tweet it to us or get it to us somehow. We're looking for that score.
Kraft's looking over the defense before he final sets his guys on 2nd and 6. And there's the snap. Handoff to 23, James. James up through the first line, and James all the way to the 40.
Nice job, Jarquell James with the first
8-yard
down.
line. 47. So that'll move the chains and give them a fresh set of downs, and East Columbus will switch a few out. Here comes number 2, Ryan Howard, out for a quick break. Trask is huddling, getting their next few plays together as they come to the line. Led by number 18, Dylan Kraft at quarterback, and see if they'll still be in that real tight. They've had their backs, and I believe Trask looked like he was going to have an injury time, but
Yeah, that's number 22, Rodney McGill. Looking like he's got a little hip string going on there.
and he's going to lay back down. As always, hopefully that's just a bad cramp, and that's something they can work out and get him straightened out. But he's laying down there trying to work it out. Trask is working over some plays and see if they can get a couple of strings of plays here together and see if they're trying still to put points on the board for the first time tonight as they trail East Columbus 32-0.
They got a score for you, Rod.
Oh, we got a score.
South Columbus 20, West Brunswick 8, halftime.
So South Columbus also on the better end this week, had a tough battle with Loris last week, and looks like things going better this week for them as they're trying to get their first win of the season. Rodney McGill walks off on his own power, so that's a good sign. Trask has 1st and 10 on their 47. Dylan Kraft up under center, 2-back set with number 80, Michael Strawman, to the far left. Kraft is ready, under center, line sets, and that'll be a sack. What a huge and quick penetration there by number 50, Kaisheem Robinson. He was through there, just immediately through there, and that'll be And that'll be a loss. So big sack, big loss. Trask calls timeout, and they've got to talk this one over because they really want to put points on the board this drive and get some momentum swinging back their way. But it is 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. East Columbus on their home field has a 32-0 lead over the Trask Titans. And Trask has the ball on their own 47-yard line, and they're in a second down and 10. So they're trying to keep this drive alive as they've gotten one first down this drive and attempting to work on a second one. Still in timeout in the huddle. East Columbus huddling their side. Trask huddling their side. Officials huddling in the middle.
Everybody's huddling.
Everybody's in. You asked for huddles, you got your huddles.
I am satisfied with the amount of huddlery I've had tonight. So
here comes the Titans back. And they are getting in position and getting set. And here comes the Gators.
Leading 32-0, 6:03 left to go here in the third quarter. Play.
So we'll see if same setup we've seen. We've got two backs real tight in, and then one receiver far left. Kraft up under center, sets his line, ball snapped, and that'll be a fake as he rolls. And
Nice
it's complete to number 33, and he's still loose all the way down to the 25-yard line. And that'll be 33, Ruben Chavez for Trask, and that's a big first down as that pass play takes him all the way down to the 21-yard line. All the way to right at the 20. So big play.
Nice job, a little rollout, play action pass. Got number 32. Don't have him. Was that number 32?
Yeah, it's 33, Ruben Chavez.
33, Ruben Chavez. Nice play. And I think, going back to what I alluded to before, all those runs inside off tackle set that up nicely because really he was wide open.
First and 10. That'll be a handoff.
Blitz by East Columbus. And
that's 23, James.
James runs right by it.
And he's going real close to a 10-yard gain. We'll see the spot, and that should be enough to move the chains, and it is. So that's going to be first and goal from the 10. 5 minutes and 22 seconds left here in the third quarter. East Columbus 32, Trask 0. But Titans have it on the East 10. And a fresh set of downs, 4 downs to put it in the end zone, and we'll see what happens as Kraft goes up under center, the snap, and hands off to 23.
All sorts of penetration. And
no go on that one.
Yeah, the first guy there was number 50 that time for East Columbus,
Kaishim Robinson.
He came on a called blitz, and it was perfect timing, perfect position for that blitz right off C-gap, and big, nasty loss. It's going to bring up second and goal from the 12.
Yeah, East was well across through their line by the time that ball was even handed off. There wasn't a whole lot of hope for that one. Once again, Kraft is up under center, still with his two-back set, one receiver far right, sets, and he's going to pass, going out to the right. It is up and through the hands. No.
He caught it.
He pulled it down.
What a great play.
Number 34. We don't have a number or a name on him. But very good play on that one. And that's 6 for the Titans. As 4 minutes and 15 seconds remain here in the third quarter, it is now 32-6, East Columbus over Trask.
Yeah, he may not have a name now, but
yeah,
he'll have a name next week. That was a fantastic catch.
I thought for sure that went through. The kick point extra is up.
Bryce Mason.
And it is good.
I believe you saw Bryce Mason drilling some 40, 45-yard field goals pregame today, so we know he can definitely kick.
32-7 with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. East Columbus leads, and they will await the kickoff to see if they can add to their lead. So that was, if you just joined in, that was a 13-yard pass play from number 18, Dylan Kraft, to number 34, and a good high jump and brought that one down, and that was good for 6.
Receive for the Gators, number 7, Greg Miller.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't gone to that before now, because the quarterback's very accurate.
He is.
So I think we'll probably see a little more of that before we wrap up things here tonight.
I would think so.
Ryan Howard.
To number 82, Matthew
Sherman,
There we go.
I'm requesting some bigger text next week.
Yeah, the sad thing is I blew that thing up. I couldn't blow the thing up anymore. I'm going to have to go to two-page rosters.
What we need is like letters that are about 3 inches tall, and we'll be able to get
Yeah,
it.
we might be all right there.
Maybe we can use the binoculars on the
That looks like an onside kick.
onside kick.
Uh-oh.
And Trask is going to have it.
They are. They reversed at the last minute and
It
kicked
did not
it.
go. Well, I guess it did. It was touched by an East Columbus player before it went 10 yards, but
Yep, it
still a
was
fumble.
number 44, Justin Chestnut. It went and hit him, and it almost hit. I think it hit him right in the face.
I think he was kind of surprised. So that will, if you're a special teams coach, when they have like restless nights where they have trouble sleeping, they see constant onside kicks being recovered by the kicking team.
Yeah.
So Trask in business now, just on their side of the field, 47-yard line.
Kraft is set, and that'll be handed off to number 23, James, and he will go to the 46-yard line of East Columbus before he is brought down, and that'll be good for 6 yards. And that'll be 2nd and 4 with just under 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. East Columbus has a 32-7 lead over Trask, but Trask has the ball on the East 46-yard line. And they'll get ready to bring up 2nd and 4. Kraft talks to his backs as he gets ready to go up under center. Gets his men set. The ball is snapped, and that'll be handed off to James.
He's
And James-
shaking and baking.
He's still on his feet. He's a hard one to bring down.
He is, and I think he's got such a low, powerful center of gravity that, it's kind of hard to get your shoulder pads on him.
And he brings it all the way to the 37-yard line, and that's good for a first down and a fresh set of downs. So here comes Trask to the line. Trask, these last few drives, have been moving the ball fairly easily. So Kraft up under center. Still the two-back set. Everybody set. Ball snap. This one's the number 5, and this one will be brought down at the 33-yard line, good for 4. Number 5 is Markel Banks. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the third quarter. East Columbus 32-7 over Trask, but Trask has the ball all the way down to the East 33. And a fresh set of, or a second, almost a fresh, they're at 2nd and 6. So Kraft takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his left. He's looking. He's going deep. It's
Got a
over the
man
middle
open
and
and
just
just
didn't
underthrew
get
it.
there. It was intended for number 16, Denzel Lewis.
Got roughing the passer against East Columbus, though. That's a big 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, and it's going to give Trask the ball inside the 20-yard line.
That'll take it to the 18 and a 1st and 10.
Wow, that's what you don't want to have right there.
Trask trying to go for back-to-back scores here. 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the third quarter. East leads 32-7, but Trask once again moving the ball all the way down the field. So the ball's in the red zone. 1st and 10.
And Same offense for Trask. That 2 tight ends, 1 wing, 2 backs. And there's James.
He's got it.
Gets the corner.
Still on his feet. Still on his feet. I see a flag.
Yeah, and that has got to be a face mask. It's either a face mask or a holding.
So right now the ball's to the 9 and 1 yard short of a first down from where we're standing. But this will depend on the flag.
Looks like a face mask. Yep, it's a face mask. And it's a personal foul against the Gators. So that's going to give that's going to be inside the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a timeout for East Columbus.
So you've got Gators they've called timeout to come over and think. You've got a score, you've got an onside kick that went against you, and you're within 4 yards of a potential second score. That could be a quick 14 points in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, we're still in the third quarter here, so yeah, it's time to see if you can't get your composure back. And we spoke about this at halftime. I mean, you want to do the easy things, you want to do the fundamental things as well as you can. And we've seen a few mental mistakes here by the Gators on defense.
Yeah, the personal foul, and you go back to a lot of games is made by special teams, and that kick that shocked East Columbus. They were not. I mean, it was kind of like the ball was coming at me, but I'm just not seeing this really happening. And
Well,
special
usually
teams is
if
tough.
you've got an onside kick, you got other people out there, So that was definitely a surprise.
And truthfully, a lot of times you don't see them reverse direction like that. I mean, they usually go the direction they're headed. So that took it all the way down to the 4. And it's first and goal, 1 minute and 51 seconds here in the third quarter remains. East is up 32-7, but now their back is against the goal line, and we'll see what happens. Handoff to 23, and
Looks like he got to around the 3-yard line there. Maybe the 2. It'll be second and goal here.
so he gets a yard and a half. So second and goal. Minute 39. And Trask has a player down. So we may see a stoppage in play here. I think that's 73, Hunter Smith.
The winner of the 50-50 is ticket number 341-579.
We are awaiting a injury timeout.
579.
Waiting to see if they can get some results here. Hopefully, it's just a cramp and a little bit stiff. And 73, Hunter Smith is up, and he is walking off on his own. Little bit of a limp, but hopefully there's just a cramp in there, and he can walk it out.
Angel, can you hear me?
So we'll get ready to resume play here, and it'll be second and goal with the ball on, we'll call it the 2.5-yard line, with 1:39 seconds left. 32-7. East Columbus leads Trask, but Trask is right on the doorstep of scoring here in the third quarter. This is 89.9 FM WZCO. If you are just joining us here on the radio, and if you are watching us over the internet, that's www.wzco.org. We appreciate you staying with us tonight and following this game through, and hopefully you've been with us all night. Here comes Trask back out for a second goal. See what we see.
Trask with 2 tight ends, a wing.
There's the snap.
It looked like that was offsides.
We'll wait a call here.
Oh, procedure.
So that's going to take them
Big
back
play.
5. Yeah.
It's going to make it second and goal from probably near the 8.
Yeah, when you get down the red zone, you don't want to move backwards. You want every yard you can get down there, and it's they're hard to come by.
Absolutely.
So here comes the Trask line back out, and Kraft up under center.
And this time in kind of a pro look with a split in. Let's see if they're thinking about throwing it.
There's the snap. There's the handoff.
And
there was no gain on that one.
no gain at all.
Maybe a loss of a yard. So we will wait and see on that one.
Stops at the 10-yard line.
I believe that's going to be a loss of 2. And it will be. So this is going to be 3rd and goal. East Columbus defense coming up big here. Gets a 5-yard legal procedure penalty against Trask, and then a 2-yard loss on there. So 3rd and goal as this one's getting ready to put the 3rd quarter in the record book. And that ball's loose.
Fumble loose.
We'll wait and see.
They have a fumble on the play.
East Columbus has it.
And East Columbus,
Covered by the Raiders.
big defensive stand there, 28.8 seconds left. East all the way down to the 4-yard line. Trask commits an illegal procedure, well, all the way down to about the 2. And then we get a big 2-yard loss on a running play, and then a fumble recovery by East, and East will take over on their own 10. So that's how you go out there, and that's what you need your defense to do. When things are not quite going exactly the way you want and the ball is moving the wrong way, you need that defense to come up and put a stand, and that's exactly what they did. And now East will take over on offense. 28.8 seconds here remaining in the 3rd quarter. 32-7, East Columbus leads Trask here in the Swamp. And McClure, big run all the way up to the 19. So he's going to be about a yard short of a first down. That was what now?
30-8, South Columbus over West Brom. 30-8. 3rd quarter.
So good effort there tonight by South Columbus, is working to get that first win of the season on their schedule. And
Also, just something that will pertain to us here later on the season. St. Paul 16.
They have a 2nd and 1 for the game.
In the 3rd quarter.
good tight.
14, St. Paul's over West Blake.
3 quarters are in the books here tonight, here at Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. East Columbus has a 32-7 lead over Trask, and they will have the ball on their own 19-yard line to start the 4th quarter. How big is that to have the ball all the way down on your 2-yard line and be able to get it pushed back to the 10 and taken on a turnover?
Let's say that they score. Let's say they go in and score. Make it 32-14. Let's say maybe 32-15. With their kicker, you're then 2 touchdowns and a field goal away. And, I mean, we've seen the kicker has pretty good range. So I think it's good. I don't think it was a foregone conclusion. I really don't think it's still completely put away for East Columbus. We saw an onside kick. We've seen some mistakes on both sides of the ball. So that fumble recovery, I think it was big. You may look back on it as the kind of the nail in the coffin, or maybe a turning point for Trask. We'll see.
Because, you had seen momentum was really swinging East way, and then Trask scores, gets it. Yeah.
Thinking, hey, Trask is rolling here, and then they have a fumble snap. They have procedure.
So 2nd and 1 on the 19. East Columbus has it. Cecil back in the gun. Awaits the snap, and that's going to be handed off to.
And Melvin looks like they're going to call it down. It was Greg Melvin on the carry. I think there's some discussion over whether he was down or not. I do believe that Trask fell on the ball, but I think they're going to call him down. And we've got an injury timeout. Trask player down on the field.
I didn't see the ball come out, but I saw everybody kind of grouped around.
Yeah, it looked like he was down, but we still haven't had if there's a possession change, I haven't seen it.
Now I saw them signal second down.
So,
I guess this case will be 3rd, but
See, it's
Maybe,
the counting thing.
yeah. Maybe eventually we'll get instant replay on some of our equipment, and we can go back and look.
You should mention that because I'm working on that very thing.
Are you really?
Sure am.
Trask still helping one of their players out, but he is up on his feet. That's number 57, Zach Lyotard. So that's good to see him up and walking off. And East Columbus now will have see where that ball got spotted. They were on the 19. It looks like that was going to be a loss of 4.
So third down here in fourth quarter, East Columbus leading 32-7.
Yeah.
So
And if that is where they spotted it, that'll make it 3rd and 5. And we are in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. And East Columbus has a 32-7 lead.
We got 35 is another play.
But they are down way down deep into Trask territory. Or in Trask end zone, I guess, toward their say. They're on the field, end of the field they would prefer not to be in. But 3rd and 5 is manageable, and that'll be a handoff
that's straight
to McClure, and there he is. Oh, cuts. There he goes to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown.
75 plus yards. And that was a direct snap. Quarterback's in the shotgun. It was a direct snap to Nick McClure. And I think everyone was fooled.
Well,
The quarterback did a good job selling it.
second time tonight I was watching the wrong person.
See, another example of how acting skills can come in handy.
Exactly.
The quarterback had everybody fooled.
That was great.
Nick McClure got in the open field, cut one way, cut another way, and he was gone.
85-yard touchdown run, Nick McClure. And, yeah, I'm watching Cecil to see if he has the ball. And next thing I know, I see McClure loose on the 40. You recovered a fumble. 90 yards later, 6 more points. That's big.
That is big, and that's East Columbus trying to make it an even 40 here. Trips left. There's Melvin in motion right in front of Cecil, and we're going to have 2 people moving at the same time, which is a big no-no. It's a big no-no in Twister. It's a big no-no.
Received against the Gators.
Yeah, 'cause scoring a 2-point from the 2 or scoring it from the 7 is a big difference.
You pretty much have to pass or run outside from that distance. I think in our lifetime, I think you'll see the rules change in the pros. I think they'll move that back.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. They've talked about it a couple of different times. They've also talked about it, believe it or not, eliminating kickoffs altogether.
Now, I have heard that discussion.
So we got trips right, split left. Look, here is Elijah Gresham on the backside, and he's going to be man-to-man, and they're going to throw it to him in the corner of the end zone, and he is going to catch it. What a grab.
Oh!
I thought he had that.
I thought so, too. He set his feet. He held on, didn't he?
He held on, and I think he must have just brushed the line there.
All right, now I want your instant replay.
Yeah, that would have been a hard one to call because now where the official was positioned, it was not his fault.
Right.
He was not in a good position to see where his feet were. But that was a great throw, great catch, and just a few inches out of bounds.
Well, I can't even read numbers from up here, so, I mean, I know I can't tell you if his feet was on the line or not.
Watch
But
it on YouTube when we upload it. It looked like it could have gone either way, honestly. Those plays are awfully hard to call if you're behind. In order to see even in the pros, you'd have somebody sitting right there
Right.
on that side. But
Because he set his feet and he had possession as he
set
was.
his feet actually before he caught the ball.
But they may have been set. One may have been because, if it's touching the line, he's out. But great effort there and a good decision. I mean, that was a good play. It's just.
One thing East Columbus has to do is they've got to find a way to make the conversion after the touchdown. They've given up, I think, 10 points tonight, not getting the conversion. There's a nice kickoff, taking it to 10 there. Looks like that is James. Check that.
That'll be Banks.
Thanks.
I think I got that one right. Yeah, Banks. And he all the way up to the 35. So.
Nice run back. Kind of let it develop, and that is hard to do when you catch the ball and you're looking at the entire field. But he was patient, let a little seam develop, and stuck it up in there for a nice little return.
I know Trask is unhappy with the way certain things have turned out tonight, but they can't be unhappy with special teams tonight.
No, I think absolutely they've won the battle of special teams, and they've got some things to build on. They've got some things to work on, but.
Because you've got to be averaging close to 20 yards per kickoff return, and you've had 2 fumble recoveries on special teams, and
Got time out here at East Columbus.
Timeout Gators.
But I think when Trask mixes it up, they have a lot of success throwing the football. So I think that's something I'm sure the coaches will look at for next week.
so 6 minutes and 43 seconds left in the fourth quarter. East Columbus just kicked back off to Trask, and they are going to start on their own 36-yard line. East leads 38-7, and we are in the swamp at Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina, as East Columbus is trying to get their second win of the season and trying to even this series up at 3-3. So they are working on that, and we are in a timeout that East had called. Trask is talking, and East is talking, and the officials are talking. So, everybody. Kelly has had all kinds of huddles tonight. We are about to get started here as timeout is coming to an end, and we will see number 18, Dylan Kraft, go up under center with Banks and James in the backfield. And the receiver this time will be Alex Hicks, and he will be spread to the far left. We will await a play, and there goes the clock. So the clock is in motion. Kraft up under center. Looks, gets set. The line is set, and the ball snapped. Quick handoff to James, and James will get 1 yard and be tackled at the 37-yard line. Looking at 2nd and 9 here as the clock continues to roll with just under 6.5 minutes remaining here in the game. East has a 38-7 lead here at the Swamp.
Got another little outside the areas for Polk County 28, Southview 18.
Another close battle. Ball on the 38-yard line, 6 minutes remaining. 2nd down and 8. Kraft up under center. Everybody set. The ball snapped. Handoff to James. James breaks far left. Gary's on his feet to the 50 and will be pushed out. No, he will not be. He'll be tackled, and there's a flag. That's going to be a late hit or a face mask. Well, yeah, it could be a face mask. He goes out of bounds at the East 41, but I got a feeling we're going to see 15 more tacked on here. Let's wait and see. No, he goes out at the 35. And it is a personal foul against East Columbus, and that'll be 15 more on past the spot. So that's going to take it all the way up to the waiting on the official spot.
Just go ahead and estimate.
I'll go for the 30.
I think you're going to be pretty close.
So 1st and 10. Trask has the ball on the East Columbus 30. Just under 5 minutes remaining.
It's actually 29.
So 29. Now they ain't allowed to move the set it after
That's right.
we've called it. 1st and 10. Kraft takes the snap. Handoff to Banks. Nope, James. And James is still on his feet. Cuts directions and will be brought down to the 16.
And he is hard to bring down. He is very hard to bring down.
Because he has mastered spinning off a tackle.
Yep. He is really slick in there. And I used to hate that when I was playing defense, and those little guys just couldn't grab them. They had nothing to grab onto, so.
Because that's 2 or 3 times we've seen him go into a pile and come out the other side.
Yep.
So that'll be 1st and 10. Trask is now down on the East Columbus 16 with just about 4 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Kraft trying to put more points on the board for this one goes in the record books. Kraft ready, line ready, ball snapped, hand off to James. James goes to the left.
Gets around, cuts back inside.
There he spun.
And that time, number 85 for East Columbus, and that's Kashad Tucker. I haven't talked about him a lot tonight, but he came up the field, and I believe he is the cornerback on that side. He came up the field and cut that inside, and that's a great job of containing. Of course, he didn't make the tackle, but what he did was force the action inside so that the outside linebacker on that side could. So good job. East Columbus has played well in defense. You just got to get rid of the penalties, and they can do that. I think they're going to be in good shape.
So that takes it all the way down to the 10, and that brings up 2nd and 4. Kraft awaits. Oh, the ball is loose, and
it's still loose, and looks like it's recovered by Trask.
Okay.
So
looked like he fell back on it, but I don't think he did.
no, it was recovered by I believe that is the left guard on that side.
71. So that was recovered by Robbie Lane. And and fumbled right on the line of scrimmage, so you don't lose. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
And it's a shame we only mention the offensive linemen when they recover the fumble. But, these guys are probably the most important players on the team. That the game starts and ends with how well they perform.
2 minutes and 20 seconds. Handoff up the middle, and that is James again.
Number 24 for East Columbus, that is Jordan Freeman with the tackle.
That should move the chains.
Yep.
That's all the way to the 5, and that's going to bring up 1st and goal from the 5.
38-7 here, 2:06 left to go in the game. East Columbus leading, Trask driving.
So it's under 2 minutes here, and Trask trying to get one more on the board for this one's official, and still in the similar set we've seen, except got receiver switching sides. Going to be handed up to middle to number, I think, James, and James did, and James will be brought down on the 1 yard line.
James, and so with, let's say, a minute and a half left to go here, Trask 2nd and goal.
On the East 1. So here's some good practice for your defense.
Yep.
Can you keep them out?
I think the quarterback, I let him have a shot here. If you notice, East Columbus is really looking at that off tackle. And it's going to be a quick handoff to James, and he's going to go in for the score. So good drive there by Trask.
1 yard touchdown by James, and we are now under a minute, and the score is now 38-13, and we will see an extra point come here. This is what I've always wondered, and you help me see this one.
No promises, but go ahead.
Anything on a something and 1, why not spread that line across the whole field? Why bunch everybody together and try to go up the middle? Why not spread it all and go whichever way you see the hole develop?
I think the concern is then you do create some pretty easy angles for your linebackers. And on those plays where there is short yardage, what you're hoping to do is you're hoping that your defensive line gets off the ball and that your linebackers fill. So I think that's probably one reason. You're really trying to create congestion if you're defense. And so if you spread out, I think especially in a situation where you've got 3 or sometimes 4 linebackers like East Columbus, it gives them kind of a free shot. They'll shoot the gap and cause some chaos. But, you could definitely do it. And I've seen teams, and I coached one. I was not the offensive coordinator, but basically they would spread out the entire field on extra points. And so, in other words, you'd have a center in the middle, and you'd have half the line on the hash and half the line on the hash. You'd call it a hockey huddle. But, yeah, that's a good point. And
I mean, and I'm not saying move your line out, but I mean, keep your 5 guys, but take everybody else and spread to where, because it just seems like 22 guys standing on top of each other is going to be hard to get that 1 yard.
Yeah.
So.
And I think what a lot of teams like to do is they like to pack it in and then go off center, or if you have a good option quarterback, and I think Trask could do this, you basically try to get it to the wide side and let your athletes make a play.
Right.
Stick your 2 best athletes out there on the option and force your defense to come up and make a big play. So this one's in the books, Rod, and man, I just want to say, on behalf of everybody who's listening to the game, you do a great job week in and week out on the radio. You do a great job over at CCCA Hey, man, Columbus County Schools is greatly enriched because of the work you do behind the mic, behind the desk, in the classroom. So it's I have a lot of fun being on the air with you. So we had a good time tonight, especially after we got all the technical stuff worked out. So appreciate all that you do.
No, and we appreciate the help you give us. And I love football. And we've got 4 weeks down, and next week we will be at South Columbus.
It's South Columbus, yep. So looking forward to that big match up there. And we are going to put this one in the record books, folks. WZCO 89.9 FM and WZCO.org. I'm Kelly Jones, and Rod Likens has called your game tonight, and we appreciate you listening and watching. And we'll have the game up on YouTube, and it'll also be on cable if you have cable in the Whiteville and Lake Waccamaw area, so we hope that you'll be able to check that out. So final score here tonight, East Columbus bouncing back from the defeat last week at the hands of North Brunswick, defeating Trask 38-14. And Rod, see you next week.
Have a good one.